there is some reports that President Trump is planning a big speech.
That's right. So there is expected to be a speech at the Department of Justice tomorrow from President Trump. Many times, a president will go to a specific department and give an address to the employees there. Sometimes it's a morale booster. Sometimes you see it just from the head of that, the secretary of that agency, or the attorney general if it were the Department of Justice. But it's being framed already as an unusual visit to the Department of Justice. I would say this is probably not a typical thing this early in an administration to go over to a specific department. But the focus of that, Professor Hutchinson, is supposed to be on law and order. That is something, obviously, that the president ran heavily on. And we know that over the past 4 years, that the Department of Justice, their focus wasn't as much on law and order as much as it was on politically targeted and motivated actions, whether it be against the president of the United States, the former president of the United States himself, or if it were against teachers at school board meetings, Christian churches that they thought were too conservative or may be interested in pro-life issues, and also those that were the strong arm of justice that they brought against a father in Pennsylvania that protected his son at an abortion protest. He was charged and acquitted, but the DOJ spent taxpayer money, resources, and time on trying to prosecute people like that to the fullest extent of the law. Meanwhile, we've seen across the country crime rates go up, migrant crime rates go up, murder rates go up, things of that nature. And so President Trump is going to go and give a speech to the employees of the DOJ that is trying to realign the core mission of the DOJ.
I think that's precisely correct. So President Trump is going to give a speech about restoring law and order. Keep in mind that for the last 4 years under the Biden administration has essentially celebrated two things: lawlessness at the border and the weaponization of the Justice Department against Biden's perceived political enemies. And so the Biden Justice Department under Merrick Garland has enlisted the support of district attorneys in New York and in Georgia to go after Biden's political enemies. And so I think this is an important speech. It follows swiftly on the confirmation of Pam Bondi as Attorney General, Kash Patel to be the FBI Director, Todd Blanche, one of Trump's personal attorneys, was named a Deputy Attorney General. And it follows, if you will, a 5 to 6 year period wherein the FBI was led first by James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, and the Justice Department, as you correctly point out, went after pro-life Catholics, parents at school board meetings, you name it. And so what I think President Trump is doing is he is resetting the Department of Justice focus on, guess what? Justice.
And our team was brought up that this is not uncommon for a president to do this. But of course, Will, because it's President Trump, they're going to make it feel that way. It's always going to be something that is, it's like saying a hand-picked attorney general, a hand-picked, whatever. Of course, that's how it works.
Right. Whenever it's a Democrat president, it is his government. Whenever it is a conservative president or President Trump, more specifically, it is the government and the president are exclusive of each other. And the DOJ has to be independent, Harry. How many times are we going to hear that? And that this is right. You can write the headlines tomorrow after the speech, because every outlet on the left is going to cover it and say, here's what he said. It's threatening the independence of the Department of Justice. They've made these rules where if you're a conservative president or you're a Republican president and you don't agree with things that the deep state is doing, then you're not allowed to speak to them or go to their office or do anything. You have to be completely hands off in governing the country. When in reality, Everyone should agree with this message. But because it's President Trump, it's going to be nefarious.
Absolutely. And so what has typically happened, particularly when there has been a Republican president, the liberals and the critics have erased Article 2 of the United States Constitution. Article 2 vests the entire executive branch in one single executive. That is the President of the United States. He is in charge, and he can direct his cabinet officers. And I think that is the way the system works. However, President Trump's critics, they wish to, as I suggest, ignore the United States Constitution. And I think that's misleading to the American people.
We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Secular program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.